Otherwise, it is impossible to inquire about anything. For example, a small gangster wants to know what kind of business Mr. Orville is doing recently, who he has eaten with, and who he has met. It is basically impossible to inquire. But if Mr. Orville wants to know what a gangster is up to lately and who he has frequent contact with, his men will help him find out with just one sentence. Mr. Orville knew that Charlie had always lived in the orphanage from childhood to adolescence, so he also knew that the children of the orphanage were stolen. Charlie must be very angry. So he immediately proceeded to investigate. 10 minutes later, a clue was fed back to Mr. Orville. There is a kid named Lu Jiaochen in Orus Hill. Some time ago, while having a meal with friends on the road, he asked where Orus Hill could buy children. Charlie hurriedly asked him, "What is the origin of this Lu Jiaochen?" Mr. Orville said, "This kid is a native of Orus Hill. He has been stealing chickens and dogs since he was young, and his family is also making a living. When he was not an adult, he participated in many illegal and criminal activities for money. This kid does everything." A few years ago, this kid and his family made some money by pirating movies. They sneaked into the movie theater with a video camera to secretly take pictures of other movies being shown, and then carved them into pirated CDs and sold them out. During that period of time, it was very busy. As a result, a big man invested in a big produced movie, which was stolen by this kid as soon as it was released. Then the big man asked someone to chop off the kid's hand. From then on, the kid didn't dare to pirate the movie. The family changed their careers and became a snakehead, just reselling the population. His family specializes in reselling underage children, usually to gangs in the South. Sometimes they also rent out a group of underage children to gangs. Some time ago, I heard that the police targeted those underage gangs controlled by the beggars. Adult children have carried out a special rescue operation and rescued a large number of children, so now the beggars have been asking for children everywhere, and he is specifically looking for children for the beggars. Charlie asked coldly, "This kid and his family are doing this business?" "Yes," Mr. Orville said. "A family of 6, his father, his mother, his 2 brothers and 1 sister, all do this kind of business." Charlie gritted his teeth and said, "This kind of garbage is really damn." After that, he asked again, "Mr. Orville, do you know where this kid is now? I want to know all his movements in the past 2 days." Mr. Orville said, "I'm making inquiries, and there must be clues soon." Charlie snorted and said, "If you have any clues, you must tell me at earliest." Mr. Orville respectfully said, "Okay, Mr. Wade, I see." Charlie hung up the phone, turned back to Aunt Lena and Xiaofeng, and said, "Aunt Lena and Xiaofeng, don't worry about it. I have asked friends to help me find out and they are quite energetic. I see some clues will come back soon." Aunt Lena said with a red eye, "Charlie, thank you very much." Charlie hurriedly said, "Aunt Lena, what are you talking about? I also came out of the orphanage. Now that the younger siblings in the orphanage are lost, I will definitely try my best to find them back." Xiaofeng choked up and said, "Brother Charlie, you donated so much money yesterday." On the way back, Aunt Lena also said that we are going to add a set of monitoring equipment to the entire orphanage. I didn't expect it to be today. Having said that, Xiaofeng couldn't help it all at once, and started crying again. Charlie knows Aunt Lena and Xiaofeng very well. Most of the people working in the orphanage are very kind, and they take care of these children without parents as their own children, and regard themselves as the parents of these orphans. Now the welfare home has lost 10 children at once, which is naturally a huge blow to them. Charlie was about to speak to comfort them, when Mr. Orville called. He hurriedly connected. He heard Mr. Orville say on the other end of the phone, "Mr. Wade, I have already asked someone to find out. The Lu Jiaochen temporarily found a friend on the road last night and borrowed a deck of Iveco. Come out, there will be no fall in the early morning." "Borrowed an Iveco?" Charlie raised his eyebrows, and said coldly, "The kid who stole the kid also drove an Iveco. I guess this guy and his family did it." Mr. Orville immediately said, "Mr. Wade, or provide this kid's phone number to the police now and let the police locate and arrest people based on phone number." Charlie said coldly, "No. This kind of SCM who specializes in poisoning children is too cheap for them to go to jail. I want them to die. Mr. Orville suddenly shuddered and blurted out, Mr. Wade, if there is any need, I will die. Charlie asked, can you locate that kid based on his phone number? Mr. Orville said, no problem. I have someone on China Unicom, and can investigate his real-time location information. Charlie said, okay. Now you help me figure out the position. Mr. Orville said immediately, Mr. Wade, give me 5 minutes. It is good. Charlie hung up the phone, immediately called Isaac again, and asked, how many helicopters can Orus Hill currently mobilize? How many people can each carry? Isaac said, Mr. Wade, Shangri-La has 2 heavy helicopters, each of which can take 12 people. There is a general aviation company invested by Wade's at the airport, and there are 3 medium-sized helicopters, each of which can take 8 people. Charlie snorted and said, get all the helicopters ready and bring your best manpower. Besides, you can let one of the helicopters pick me up near the Orus Hill Welfare Institute now. Isaac hurriedly asked, Mr. Wade, what are you going to do? Charlie said coldly, I want to walk for the sky.